What is up, everybody? Welcome to another, this is actually not a replay, actually a live cast, LGD Forever Young versus Newbee.Y. I caught this game just when it was about to start in the watch tab, and this is going to be from the Dota 2 Ace
10 seconds
Provisional,
to go.
some type of Chinese Dota League or something like that. And LGD Forever Young being a
Radiant's
pretty
banned.
good team playing in the Boston Major. They did qualify. It does have Zhao 8 as well as Yao and Super veteran
Dire's
players, and they
pick.
do have LPC as well as Monet, two new bloods to the scene. And they do ban out both Batrider as well as Bounty Hunter in the first phase. And right now it looks like in the Chinese meta they like to focus a lot on the offlane.
10
Whoever does
seconds to
better in
go.
offlane really determines who really gets a good footing when entering
5
through
seconds.
the early game into the mid game, as the offlaner plays a huge role in terms of
Reserve
allowing a
time.
team to really get ganks off, as well as team fights. So a lot of times we do see a lot of offlaners banned out in the
Radiant's
first
pick.
phase, rather than like say mid laners or carries. Drow Ranger and OD tend to get banned a lot, but speaking of that, LGD Forever Young will pick up a Disruptor in the first phase. And according to the Chinese meta
10
right now,
seconds to
it
go.
really turns out that they tend to pick up their supports fast.
5
A
seconds.
support and a offlane maybe, but with a Disruptor first pick is pretty odd.
Reserve time.
And Newbee.Young do ban out Slaughter and Sand King. So three offlaners banned out just in the first phase, interestingly enough. And another popular pick right
Radiant's
now is
pick.
Rubik. He's gaining popularity as he's being first picked in a lot of games in China as well as North America, with NP really being the first ones who kind of started running the Rubik regularly.
10
Overall,
seconds to
even
go.
though it's kind of weird to see a first pick Rubik, he tends to
5
be just
seconds.
a solid support with his instant disable, as well as kind of limiting your opponent's draft a bit of what you
Dire's
can
pick.
pick, as he's going to be able to steal your spells and use it against you. So I tend to like the drafting pattern of just getting this Rubik out in the first phase. Just opens up your draft for a lot of things. He goes with a lot of
10
drafts
seconds to
and
go.
just solid support to start off with. And they'll follow it up with the Juggernaut pick,
Radiant's
while LGD
banned.
Forever Young will pick themselves a Timbersaw. So this draft I haven't particularly seen from Zhao 8. He tends to go for a more push-oriented draft, early game draft, but this time he'll go for a
10
Disruptor
seconds
and
to
a
go.
Timbersaw, more rotated around team fights as well as just
5
taking
seconds.
fights in general. I know Zhao did like the Enigma for a time in the first phase, but
Dire's
right now they're probably
banned.
just testing things out, as Newbee.Young is not known to be one of the top Chinese teams, and it is just a Dota 2 Ace
Radiant's
Provisional. I
banned.
still don't know what exactly this tournament is. I should probably read up on it a bit, but a lot of teams tend to
Dire's
test things out
banned.
in this. It's more of like a scrim environment. I'm not sure what the stakes are, but it's definitely lower stakes as they're just testing things out, and so they'll decide to go for the Disruptor and Timbersaw pick. A lot different from what LGD Forever Young ran
10
at
seconds to
the major
go.
qualifiers. And they'll ban out an OD. Solid pickup against
5 seconds.
Timbersaw, can kind of lane against him very well if it is a Timbersaw mid, and just shut him down throughout
Reserve
most
time.
stages of the game, as he's able to just hit him with that pure damage as well as drain his intelligence as well as mana with the ultimate. So Newbee.Young will ban out Jakiro and Enigma. So I did say that Zhao liked his Enigma. Not a very popular hero this patch, but he does like to run it in the jungle for himself and just work on
Radiant's
this timing
pick.
where he gets the mech up. He does build mech, he doesn't go for soul ring or anything like that. He goes for mana boots right into mech, and they like to take down towers and use his mech to just stay stronger in the team fights. And that Enigma, of course, a hero
10
that can really
seconds to
get that
go.
early mech timing up, with his kit being
5
really
seconds.
useful to jungle very quickly. And Jakiro, as well as a hero,
Reserve
Jakiro
time.
as well is a hero that can take down towers very quickly, as well as farm up that mech if you need him to. And LGD Forever Young will ban out Coddle, another hero that is very good against Timbersaw. So right now they're just getting rid of heroes that can potentially give their Timbersaw trouble, which might probably indicate that he's going to be run as some type of core, like maybe mid lane or potentially safe lane carry. It is maybe it's probably not looking like offlane Timbersaw right now, considering their banning. And Newbee.Y will pick up the third hero that is good against Timbersaw that LGD.FY unfortunately did not have enough bans to ban out, and they'll pick up a Nyx Assassin right away. LGD.FY will now follow up by picking a Faces Void. So a lot of setup for their team fight right now. Can Chronosphere into Static Storm as well as the damage output from Timbersaw's Chakrams. So let's see how Newbee.Young respond to this, as their draft is looking okay right now. Overall, it's like they're not going for any particular strategy or anything like that. They're just picking up solid heroes right now. Nyx Assassin, of course, being a response to Timbersaw, and Juggernaut just being a bread and butter carry of this patch right now, being able to just use his healing ward to take down towers and provide decent damage output with his spin as well as Omni Slash, and Rubik being the same. Just support that can go with a lot of drafts and pull off a lot of strategies. Whether you want to take it to enemy early, in the mid game, or even late game oriented, Rubik is still fine. They're taking quite a bit of reserve time to decide on their next pick. I would say they definitely need something else to deal with this Timbersaw, because he is looking to be given farm priority this game, probably in the mid lane, as the Faces Void will be picked up, but it still could be offlane Void. Their draft is really open in terms of laning right now. It could be offlane Void, safe lane Void, and recently even in the NA scene we've seen mid Void, so LGD.FY has options. So instead Newbee.Young will decide to pick up a Darkseer. It's probably going to be run as their offlaner, so Nyx will be a support. We'll see him probably roam around a bit actually, and maybe help out the Darkseer in lane. Might be some type of aggressive dual lane from them, as Rubik will be supporting. Juggernaut still can go to the mid lane or the safe lane. So both teams really have a lot of flexibility in terms of how they want to lane things. And LGD.FY will just be deciding on their next pick. They probably want something else to go with the Chronosphere. They need to boost up their team fight a bit, as well as having maybe some type of tower taking hero. Because with their playstyle, they really tend to make a lot of early rotations into the enemy side of the map and kind of take their space away from them by taking down their towers quite early. And looking into the hero pool, I'm not sure what's left for them if they want to pick a hero like that. They did get their Jakiro as well as Enigma banned out, two heroes that are very great at doing that. And looking in terms of like offlane-ish support heroes, all that's left is like maybe like a Chen. I'm not sure if LGD.FY run that. I believe they do, but it's a little weird to go up. I don't think Chen would actually be that bad of a pick right now for them if they want to go for that type of strategy. It can really help them control the early game and get a lot of space for their cores to farm up, especially Timbersaw. If that hero can really utilize space, if you just make stuff happen around the map, if you can find that levels up, find the farm up, he can really be a menace to deal with. They're going to take all their reserve time to figure out what to pick. I believe they were stumped. The Jakiro ban as well as the Enigma ban really causing them to really think about their next pick, and instead they'll decide to pick a carrier now in Morphling. So it will be offlane Void, it looks like. I don't think they're going to send a mid Void and offlane Timbersaw. I definitely want that farm on the Timbersaw as they picked it first, and Super does play a pretty mean Timbersaw, so I'm assuming it's a Super Timbersaw right now. Offlane Void played by Yao and Monet on the Morphling.
Reserve time.
So getting into the last banning stage, Newbee.Young still need to ban out a hero. They need to ban another hero that potentially is going to create a lot of early game pressure, and some hero that might pressure their towers early and allow LGD.FY to their stomp on the early game so that they can create space for their pretty greedy
5 seconds.
carries and cores. Timbersaw definitely needs a good deal of farm up as well as morphling, and they'll ban out a Pugna. So smart ban by them. That's something a hero
Dyer's
that I didn't
big.
really think of, but that's a hero that LGD.FY kind of needed. With their playstyle, they want to put that pressure on early, and Pugna can do that with his Nether Blast, allowing them to siege towers. And instead, LGD.FY will ban out the Shadow Fiend
Radiant's
in their
big.
last ban and pick up an Enchantress. So I did say Chen, but Enchantress does provide a similar kit. She allows you to put a lot of pressure in the early game with creeps in the jungle, and I would even argue that Enchantress is a little bit better of doing that because she just moves around fast and a lot faster than the Chen, and her creeps are a little non-committal, so she can just take any creeps she wants and just go to lanes and pressure them. So Newbee.Young will pick up a Tinker for the last pick to help slow down that aggression. He's kind of a hard hero to fight into, but if Enchantress gets the right creeps, he can gank very easily. Newbee.Young is just going to decide to take this more into a late game with the Tinker. Well, Tinker is not necessarily a late game hero, but he works around certain timings, so they're just going to play more timing based, try to get their farm
Better
up
get ready.
and get ganks off with the Nyx to secure their lead like that. While LGDFY are playing relatively their normal play style, but they do pick up a couple heroes that they don't really run too often. I don't see them play the Morphling and the Void in the offlane. I usually see like Slaughter or something, but Newbee.Young definitely banned out a lot of heroes that LGDFY potentially wanted to pick, so it caused them to switch it up a bit. And of course, LPC on the Disruptor, I definitely see him doing work on that hero, so the first pick on that is not too surprising. So let's see if Newbee.Young's reactive
30
bans and
seconds to
picks are
showtime.
going to be able to take out LGDFY. Kind of took them out of their comfort zone a bit, picking up that jug that LGDFY usually tend to like to run, taking it away from them, as well as banning a lot of heroes that they run quite frequently. Yao being pretty well versed on both Sand King and Slaughter, and both heroes being banned right in the first phase.
And away
He
we
does work
go.
on those heroes, and now instead he'll be on a Faceless Void trying to contest a rune, but he does not manage to get it as he gets lifted up by Rubik, and Tinker will secure that while Timbersaw secures the top rune. He does start off with the poor man's shield, allowing him to reduce the amount of harass he takes from the Timbersaw, while Nyx blocks up the mid lane for his Tinker. And it looks like Nyx will be rotating the top lane and going for some type of aggressive dual lane, but first I believe he's going to place his ward. Nope, he's still holding on to it. And we'll get last hits and denies up for you guys. So Juggernaut looks like he's probably building into poor man's shield. He picks up the Slippers of Agility. And they'll help him tank the Creep Wave if this Rubik wants to pull. But it actually is not blocked by the Dire side, but he does have vision of it right here. So I haven't seen Yao Void too often. A lot of games that I casted or watched of LGFY were him on the Sand King or the Slardar. And since both were banned out, he's forced onto this Void, and let's see how he does. And as expected, Zhao 8 will be making an early rotation onto the enemy jungle. I believe they did block this camp up. This is definitely something that you definitely need to do against an Enchantress. You can't let her have this camp. Allows her to take 2 creeps and just pressure you a lot on your support, as there's only so much a level 1 support can do against 2 creeps. And she will put a sentry down to try to spot the ward, but I believe it will not catch it. So far she actually hasn't been able to do that much harass to the
Dyer's
Rubik,
top tower's getting beat down.
as they just kind of farmed up this camp right here together and shared the experience for that, but she does pick up level 2 because of that. And her creep will expire, of course, and this is a natural play to make right now as Enchantress. Is if you can't get anything done in the bot lane, this Rubik is playing a bit safe. He just rotates to under his tower right now. She'll go for this camp right here and farm, potentially even snipe the courier. I've seen some Enchantresses go like this. That would have been a big play from him. He actually could have got this bottle if he realized that it was coming to the Tinker. Right now he'll actually look for the courier on the backswing, and he'll get it. And as I said,
Something
that's
bad's
the next
happened
play
to
for
the waves,
Enchantress,
courier.
and Tinker really didn't. He wasn't in the mindset to read Zhao 8's movement and fed the courier away, but fortunately enough, he didn't get his bottle sniped, which would have been very bad for him. So now she's just sending. She actually cut off his creep wave. It's kind of annoying as the creep will push into the tower. Timbersaw will probably go over here and
Dire's
farm
top
up these
tower.
creeps. Her
You know
creep
the
will
drill.
die. She was just
Radiant's mid
sending the
tower needs a
tornado to the mid
hand.
lane to try to harass a bit, but of course Tinker went to the top route, so he didn't really take too much from
Oh
that.
boy, Morty, somebody
might want to
just got
mind the
Looks
real
like
brave over there.
Darkseer and Nyx went for a deep dive into the tower to try to kill Morphling, and they'll fall. And feeding 2 kills away to the Dire safe lane. I believe Morphling just manned up on them, and with Magic Wand he was able to barely survive, and the Disruptor and Morphling just being able to take them down under their tower. So a bit of a risky play made by them, and it certainly did not pay off, as Morphling will kill himself so that he can regen up and TP back to the lane. Enchantress will make her way back to the bot lane and try to put pressure there, and I believe she did actually take out the Rubik. I completely missed that. So together with the Void, she brought a Mud Golem as well. They're able to stun up the Rubik and finish him off. So this game is looking very good for LGD.FY right now. They did get a courier pickoff as well as his Enchantress doing exactly what she needs to do. And after getting that kill on the mid lane, she'll be heading her way back to mid to try to annoy this Tinker. And with 2 Mud Golems, she actually did not farm that up. She saved it so that she can pick it up. And they're going to be going for mid lane. And it looks like Tinker will die here, as she does have both stuns from the golems. And 3 stuns once it expires, so very, very nice pickup on her to save that Mud Golem right there so she can use it for a mid gank. And while I was talking about that, I believe Darkseer and Nyx both went down top as he tried to go for the Morphling again. He will have to kill himself again, but they do manage to kill both heroes. And this early game is looking disastrous for Newbee.Young right now, as they're just feeding kills away in every single lane. So all their lanes have pretty much lost so far, as this Rubik is getting completely zoned away from his lane by Enchantress. This is the strength of this hero. Even more so than Chen, she's just able to rotate between lanes very quickly and provide a lot of pressure, while Chen is a little slower. Of course, he does have the permanent creeps, which allows them to be more useful in terms of just putting early pressure onto towers themselves, and Enchantress is just a lot better at running to the jungle and just getting a lot done with her creeps in every lane in terms of ganking. And these Mud Golems are just stunning everything down here, as when they expire they will split up, and that allows her to have 2 more stunts, and there it happens again. It's a nice micro from Zhao keeping up with that, able to just annoy this little Nyx as he walks over into his jungle to try to scout things out, and she does place a deep ward down here as well. And now she'll walk back up into her jungle on the her ancient side and pick up a centaur for herself. And we'll see. She does not have a smoke or anything, so let's see what she does with this. He's quite under-leveled as Enchantress right now, as he's been running around a lot, but if he gets a couple more kills, he's going to be back into the game in terms of experience, but the amount of space he got off for his team is definitely worth sacrificing levels. Right now he's sending his creeps to the bot lane, they'll kill up that healing ward, and the centaur will tank a tower hit, but there's 3 heroes down here right now, so they have to be a bit careful. With Rubik being level 3 as well as Nyx being level 3, they definitely have the potential to kill her if she gets caught out, but of course she's extremely fast with the Windlace as well as Boots of Speed. Looks like Darkseer has resorted to just farming this camp right here while he waits for the creep to hit his tower. This Morphling's farm actually has been shut down a bit, as he's a pretty low range hero against a Darkseer and a Nyx kind of aggressive lane. They did manage to pick up like 4 kills in this lane, but he did have to die himself twice as he got very low. Looks like Disruptor just found some fucking. Holy shit, this guy has a Midas at 6 minutes in the game. What the fuck? LPC, of course, is the Disruptor God. I actually forgot about that in the picking stage, so I didn't really understand why they picked up the Disruptor first. But of course, yeah, LPC is the Disruptor God. I've seen him play that hero in a lot of LGD.FY games in open qualifiers, and he completely owns on that hero. And he had picked up a very fast Midas for himself, as well as level 6. And right now he'll go for a smoke gank with Zhao Wei, who just managed to hit level 4. And the smoke will pop right now, so they should know there's some hero lying around the tree line. And they'll rotate Void for this as well. But right now they're just going to find a Nyx, so it's not too best to catch out just to support. They could have got a Tinker if they were a little bit earlier. Rubik will TP in and will just eat that Static Storm. And right now LGD.FY is making plays in the mid lane. Of course they just managed to take out 2 supports, but this should result in a lost mid tower. As Timbersaw is just going to be able to cut off the creep wave while his team puts pressure on the tower, but they actually don't have enough pushing heroes, so they'll just decide to back off as both supports should be spawning relatively soon, and while this max march will keep them away. I believe because of the max march they just decide to just all back off. There's no way they're getting anything done with that. And what a player, Xiao able to ensnare up the courier and actually kill it again. So it's 2 couriers for him. If he had his quest up, he would be quite happy right now. 2 couriers killed. Well played, Xiao on the Enchantress. And Timbersaw going for the Hood of Defiance build. It's a build that super favors. Even if you actually look at his item build, I can't go back because this is a replay, and I want to just it's not a replay, and I just want to get through it like a regular cast. He goes for like a double ring of regen or something like that, where he just he forgoes bottle, he just goes for the fast hood and the fast soul ring. So I'll miss a kill up on the top lane, as it looks like Disruptor is able to set up a kill with Glimpse. So this Morphling is not too farmed right now, but this Disruptor is very farmed, as he was able to pick up 4 kills in this top lane and now 5 with that kill on Duxier. So now Timbersaw will rotate to the top lane and he'll just start tanking up the tower for his Morphling to start pushing. And that's one of the strengths of this build. It just allows you to be very, very tanky. Almost deceptively tanky. Sometimes you think you can kill the Timbersaw and he'll live with almost no health, and you'll get the fight turned around on you. And I definitely do like this Hood of Defiance build. And he actually goes for no boots right now, as he probably walked by over here and he just picks up the energy booster himself. He'll need to pick up the boots from the courier. Well, they're not actually on the courier right now, so we'll have to actually bring it all the way back to base. So after taking that top tower, they're going to rotate straight to mid. And there's only so much that Newbee.Young can do right now, as this Disruptor is very high level, and this Timbersaw is pretty much unkillable. I would say actually unkillable for them right now. They would have to commit a lot to even bring him down low. So instead they'll make a play on the Disruptor, and they should be able to finish him off here. So Rubik got a nice lift up on him, and Juggernaut will use his spin and just finish him off. So you managed to take out this extremely farmed Disruptor. Let's see how much gold they got for that. 435 gold. You know the game's not going well for you if taking out a support Disruptor is giving you that much gold. So they'll surge up the Rubik, so they'll try to lift up the Enchantress, and they'll lift him up into stun, and he'll get nuked down by Tinker. And the Tinker being a very good hero, or a very good hero against Enchantress because of that. He has a lot of magic damage that just allows him to just burst her very quickly before he heals up or gets away. So she won't sprunk away this time, as that nice lift into stun just deletes her. While this was all happening, it looks like Yao in the bot lane was just able to push in the lane and take the tower. Of course, Juggernaut had to rotate mid for those kills, and Yao just found a free lane bot, and he's getting very close to his Vlads. When we look at the net worth right now, it is extremely in favor of LGD.FY. Just in the first 11 minutes, they have a 7,500 gold lead. This Disruptor is ungodly farmed, as he will pick up mana boots for himself, and this Enchantress will have a Midas as well. So 2 Midases on them in the first 11 minutes, and both supports here. Because of course they have a late game oriented draft with the Morphling. They want to scale this into later. Of course, they're making a lot of pressure happen right now, but they're not going to try to end the game early. They definitely want to get farm up on all their heroes. They will go on Timbersaw right now, but with the Hood of Defiance, he's just going to tank everything up, and he's not even going to run. What is he doing? That was, I believe he was just trying to bait or something there, but he does get himself caught out by another Nyx stun, and he will fall. He's kind of overestimating his tankiness right there, and Juggernaut will make an Omni Slash onto Enchantress, and she will fall as well.
Oh man, this guy's dominating!
Well, it looks like Morphling kill Jug in the back. Fight will happen on this right side as Void as well as Disruptor will find two heroes over here, and they'll manage to pick them off now, I believe. No, instead Void will fall as he tried to dive too deep under this tower, and he'll get picked off by Tinker as well as Rubik. So overall, pretty chaotic fight. Started off with Enchantress really getting taken out by the Omni, and their heroes kind of split. A couple heroes ran right, a couple heroes ran left, and Morphling was able to clean up the Jug on the left, and Darkseer ran to the right and got cleaned up by Void as well as Disruptor. Void, of course, getting caught out at the end of that fight by Tinker, but overall it's still a pretty good trade for LGD.FY, even though those kills are going to give a lot of comeback gold to Newbee.Young as they're extremely far behind.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Nick's picking up 2 raindrops, so he's definitely gotta have that mana regen as well as a magic damage block. Looks like Void will be going into Manta style, or Yasha at least, or might be even Diffusal Blade, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Yasha. That's a pretty standard build on Void. Morphling is almost getting close to his Lincolns. He just needs around like 500 more gold, while Tinker will manage to pick up his Boots of Travel and all of this. He did get a lot of kills. And LGD.FY is going to slow down the game a bit. They kind of pressured too much in this mid lane right here and fed a couple kills away, so they're just going to take it back, try to farm up on their Morphling as well as Timbersaw. He'll go back to the mid lane and try to just get up his Bloodstone. So everything reset a bit, even though there was a lot of pressure from LGD.FY in the early game. They just wanted to secure that lead and make it larger by using their Midas.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower. Radiant's top tower is taking
So even though LGD.FY has backed off, Newbee.Young still have to be on the alert, as any time they can just group up and use Chronosphere and take another fight. I believe they're just waiting for their next items right now. They just want to have something other than these Midases. They're gonna pick up Lincoln Sphere as on the Morphling, as well as him taking out this top tier 2 right here. He'll get gone on right now, and he actually does not have replicants, so he's in a bit of trouble, but he should be able to just morph off and get away. And a fight will happen in the bot lane, as it looks like Juggernaut got glimpsed, but he was able to just spin to dodge that. But he'll try to go for a counter kill, as he didn't think that he could get away by running, as there was Chronosphere that could be used on him. So he just kind of went for the YOLO play, tried to get a kill off, but he won't manage to do any of that, as they're able to clean him up very quickly using that Static Storm. So all 4 LGD.FY heroes are heading towards the mid lane. They'll be scouted out by this ward here, so Newbee.Young should see it coming. Nyx is currently invis, so he might make a play on somebody right now.
Dire's top tower.
He just needs his Tinker to TP in, and maybe they can burst the hero potentially, but he has to be careful as he walks into a ward right now. He does use oh, that was a little bit of miscommunication right there, as Void commits his Chrono for Nyx, but Disruptor was also glimpse him, which brings him out of the Chrono. And right now they don't have detection from him anymore, which will cause him to live, but as I say that, he eats a Chakram to the face, and he will fall. Yeah, so that was a bit of a miscommunication from LGD.FY, but at the end of the day, they still got the next kill, so nothing too bad came of it. It looks like Xiao 8 will pause the game right now. He gets disconnected. And he'll pick up an urn, which will help him tank up a bit more, and of course Enchantress is quite a glass cannon, as she doesn't have that much HP or armor. And she can be blown up incredibly quickly if you can just get the burst. But if you don't manage to kill her, she will heal up with the urn, as well as Nature's Attendance. So I don't think there's any reason for the pause. I didn't really say anything, but It'll just stay paused as Zhao 8 is still disconnected. So if we look at the game right now, the lead is still continue to extend for LGD.F.Y as they have 2 Midas pickups on both of their supports. Zhao 8 will reconnect to the game right now, and it looks like LGD.F.Y is just gonna want to finish off this mid tower as it's very low, and there's only so much that Newbee.Young can do to delay this or even try to fight it. And potentially even fighting right here at the mid tier 1 can be very
Alright,
detrimental to their team as they still want to get their farm up.
Dire's top tower.
Tinker does finish up his Blink Dagger, and they do have their core items up. They're still way behind LGD.F.Y as Rubik kind of gets caught out right there, but he does have Waveform to get to the high ground. Omni Slash will be used on Timbersaw as well as Morphling, and they'll actually be able to take out the Timbersaw. And now he's going on Enchantress next, and they'll bring him low, but they won't manage to take him out. And the Juggernaut will find himself dead because of that. Enchantress just healing up and lobbing Impetus at him. But while all that was happening, I believe the Faces Void got caught out by Nyx or Rubik, and he gets taken out by the Tinker.
Dire's mid tower could use
So
a
actually a pretty good fight for Newbee.Young. Even though they did lose their Juggernaut, they were able to take off 2 cores from LGD's side of LGD.F.Y.
mid towers have
Looks like Morphling went on the Rubik mid and was able to take him out, and they really can't stop him from doing that as he's pretty farmed right now, even though he didn't have the best of starts, having a lot of aggression in his lane. He finds the Nyx as well. So even after the 2 pickups they got on the side of Newbee.Young, they still feed 2 kills away afterwards as well to the Morphling. And just finding out the support sitting here, and it was a bit of their mistake trying to pressure this tower as LGD.F.Y's heroes are still very farmed and powerful, so they'll take a fight even if they're missing 2 heroes.
Radiant's mid towers in trouble.
Glimpse will be used on the Jug, but he will use Blade Fear to cancel it, and it looks like LGD.F.Y will be heading their way into the Roche Pit, while Tinker just pushes out the top lane. So what was a decent fight for them, picking off both Faces Void as well as Timbersaw, kind of just turned around as Morphling just picked up 2 kills on their supports, and every kill kind of means something right now as they really need to get back in this game, and every kill that they feed away it's going to help slow them down a bit more.
Dire's mid tower.
So they're looking to contest this Roshan as Nyx will get in with the nice 2 stuns on both supports, and they managed to take him off with that vacuum combo. And it looks like Faces Void will get very close to going down as well. Omni Slash will be committed, but there's armor on all these heroes with Ogre Creep, and it will actually do pretty much no damage, and they'll be able to take out the Jug. And they should just be able to finish off the Roshan right now. Void went incredibly low, but he was able to just time walk off that damage and give chase to the enemy team, and they're able to take off Jug. So Nyx will just be fighting his farm up in the bot lane while LGD.F.Y finishes off Roshan. Timbersaw will finally finish off his Bloodstone. It has been a bit delayed as he's been dying a bit. Just overestimating his tankiness in a couple occasions and getting himself killed. But this Morph has been extremely farmed. He hasn't died at all this game, both of his deaths being from suicides. And he's gonna almost have E-Blade, and once he gets that, it's gonna be trouble for Newbee.Young, as if they get caught out by that, they have relatively squishy heroes, which will get completely deleted by that item. And that was a nice play from them to take that fight. They pretty much started off the best they could hope for, as they were able to get a vacuum and double stun off on both supports and pretty much remove them from the fight immediately. But the rest of that fight didn't pan out too well for them, as LGD.F.Y went for a smoke play, but Nyx was right next to them while they were doing it, and their smoke will get immediately popped, except for Faces Voids. And Faces Void, instead of going for the Yasha, does go for the Diffusal Blade, which will help him chase down heroes as well as burn mana, which is quite annoying.
You know the drill.
For heroes like Tinker as well as even Jug, who kind of need their mana to save themselves with the spin as well as laser. looks like Jug is going for Ogre Club. It might be a BKB or Sanjin Yasha. Not sure yet. So these Midases are going to pay off as the gold lead is just continue to dip into LGD.FY's favor. And we go to net worth now, we'll see that the supports are up there. They're pretty much at the same level as Juggernaut and Darkseer pretty much, which is incredibly bad for Newbee.Young. And Disruptor will pick up a full mech, so LGD.FY is going to be in fighting shape, especially when they pick up this E-Blade. And he does have it now. He just needs to get it from the courier. Wow, nice play by Newbee.Young to make that back into stun combo, and they'll get 3 heroes with it. And they will manage to take out the Morphling, but he of course has the Aegis, and they'll Omni Slash up on the Timber and take him out as well. And very good tower defense from Newbee.Young. But right now they have to be on the retreat as this Morphling will have respawned, and he's going to take down their Juggernaut. And Nyx looks like he's in trouble as well. He does Carapace that Morphling son. And now Morphling looks like he's in trouble as Tinker is in the fight and he's taking out heroes left and right. Morphling will fall. It's Tinker, and Tinker gets an ultra kill. Very well played by Newbee.Young. I'm surprised that they were able to take that fight. If you look at the gold graph, it's clearly not in their favor, and their supports are extremely far on the side of LGD.FY, but of course their heroes are still a bit squishy, and against a Tinker that with March and Laser, he's able to just nuke them down with amazing plays from Nyx as well as Darkseer in that fight. Rubik did manage to steal Morph, so he should have morphed to full strength, and he does. Kind of hurts his armor a bit, but makes him a lot tankier when it's magic nukes.
Dyer's mid tower needs a little help.
So Tinker will get a lot of farm of that fight, and that will boost him up to the top net worth in the game. And he should pick up Aghanims, I believe. Nope, he is going for a Bloodstone instead, which is a fine pickup, which allows him to cast a lot more marches and just spam his spells during tower defenses. So Juggernaut will decide to go for the Sanjin Yasha. He's very far behind in this game. He's only 2,000 net worth up on the enemy Disruptor. He'll pick himself up a DD rune and head right back into the jungle. If we look at the warding from the side of Newbee.Young, we definitely see it spread up across right here. That's mostly due to their rotation into the Roach Pit. They kind of drop wards along the way. This ward was placed a bit recently, and it allows them to kind of see any time LGD.FY decides to cross the river. And so far, fights on this side of their river actually have been panning out pretty decently for them so far. So if they keep it up, they still have a decent chance in this game, regardless of how far they're behind in net worth. Nyx does have a blink now, so he's going to be able to set up ganks that much easier. And right now he's looking to make a play on both Enchantress as well as Disruptor. And he'll pick up a stun of Disruptor, no blink required, and Tinker will TP in as well as Darkseer blinking in, and they'll manage to pick off a kill on LPC. So a couple missteps from LGD.FY is bringing Newbee.Young back into this game, and this game is not looking so dominant for them anymore, even though the net worth definitely dipped back up a lot, but they still have a decent amount of gold advantage, but it's only 6k now as they lost this huge team fight in the bot lane. I wouldn't say LGD.FY are in trouble, but the game definitely has evened out a bit. They still, of course, have the two Midas on their supports, so if this goes late, they still have a good chance of taking the game. I believe they did manage to pick up Rubik somewhere down here, but I completely missed that one, and Rubik is almost on his way to Aghanims, so that fight in the bot lane definitely gave a lot of comeback gold back to Newbee, and their heroes are starting to pick up items. Nyx and Darkseer are playing together, and they've been the MVPs of this game, in my opinion, so far. It's between them and Tinker. But I give them the MVP because without them, Tinker wouldn't be able to dish out all the damage that he has in these team fights. They're really the ones setting it up with really good stuns from the Nyx, as well as that Spike Carapace stunning up the Morph down here, giving him the opportunity to get chain stun and nuked down by the Tinker. And just their vacuums into stun combo has been on point. LGD.FY just kind of slacking in their tower positioning when pushing, and allowing the Darkseer to get a nice vac off and into a Nyx stun that really allows Newbee.Young to just deal a ton of damage to them before they're able to do anything. So the game will slow down quite a bit now, as LGD.FY just want to farm up every time they've crossed the river right here. So far, they've kind of fed a couple kills away, and especially during this fight down here, so they're not going to approach the enemy jungle or side of the map too much, but they were filling a couple kills away, as the Nyx and the Darkseer did manage to find up a kill on Disruptor quite recently. So right now we see Newbee.Young the ones playing on the aggressive, even though if they're still behind a bit in net worth. They're kind of confident after that fight in the bot lane, and they managed to pick up a couple of kills on the Disruptor. He did die twice recently, and I will set him back a bit on his next item. So the Morphling will go for a BKB. He realizes that he needs that to tank up the March, as well as damage from the Tinker and Nyx. It's quite annoying with the mana burn as well. So with that item pickup, it looks like LGD.FY want to just take a fight soon. They don't want to just extend this game for too long or go for some split pushing strat or anything like that. They just want to be able to take a team fight and secure victory like that. Nyx will be scouting out again. Of course, they did put a sentry right here to scout him out, and they have a sentry here right now too. The warding for LGD.FY being very defensive right now. They just want to protect their side of the map and get their core items up so that they can take a good fight. Definitely need some item on Timbersaw as well. He does pick up a Yule Scepter, but he's not been too much of a tank in these fights. He's actually been eating the Omni Slash and falling quite quickly. And of course, Face's Void, being relatively squishy himself, is getting bursted down by this Tinker once he gets stunned up, not being able to cast his Time Walk. And part of that is due to just the instant disable from Rubik, allowing him to just lift up the Void and stopping him. So we'll see a quick pause right here. The Tinker had to disconnect or reconnect, but they'll get right back into the game. So right now this Juggernaut is still far behind. He will go for the Battle Fury so that he can catch up in farm. It's quite a late Battle Fury, but he definitely needs it so they can push out waves and get his farm up, as he's not been having the greatest of games. So LGD.FY are still playing pretty deep on their side of the map. They gotta watch out for this Nyx now, as he's been a menace, going into their jungle quite a number of times. And they'll find this Darkseer, and if he gets glimpsed, he should fall, as they also commit the Static Storm for him. The Chronosphere will also be using the back, as they spotted the Nyx up with this Sentry Ward, and they'll get 2 quick kills. So even though the Nyx and the Darkseer were kind of getting a couple kills in the enemy jungle, they got a bit too overconfident this time, and LGD.FY were ready and picked them both off, and that should result in a free Roshan for them, as it is spawning pretty much right now. Void does scout it out, but it has not managed to spawn yet, and if they just check again, they should be able to see it. But unfortunately they will not, and instead they'll go for a mid tier 1 or tier 2 push. Chantress finishes off Hurricane Pike, as well as picking up a gem. I'm not sure who actually bought that, but they do have it to find the Nyx and as well as stop enemy vision. Rubik managed to find farm for Aghanim Scepter this time, and if we look at the enemy spells, it's pretty strong Ags. In all honesty, if he steals Chronosphere, will have a very short cooldown, so they're going to be able to use that to set up a lot of kills, or if he steals Chakram from the Timbersaw, and and even Disruptor ultimates. It's gonna be pretty powerful for him, as well as just having the shortened cooldown, allowing him to just take a lot of spells. There's no really powerful stuns or disables that he can take from the side of LGD.FY, but there's definitely a decent amount of spells for him to take. Waveform being a pretty strong spell as well. So it looks like they'll finally scout out that Roche and finish it off. And they're getting their game back into their favor. Morphling still has not used his BKB yet, as there's not really been a big team fight since his pickup. Smoke will be used. They'll bring the replicant with them so that Morph can reinforce. And it looks like they're going towards the top. I think they know that Newbee.Young right now are probably playing the top side of the map, as they're expecting LGD.FY to just play through mid or through the bot lane. Instead they'll smoke themselves up and start walking top, but I think their smoke does expire, or it gets cancelled or something. It doesn't actually expire, it gets scouted by Tinker. Yeah, it had to be Tinker. And they do scout out the ward up here and de-ward it. And Newbee.Young knows what's up, so they're gonna stay up in the safe lane and stay safe. Right now they probably see them walking through here, or they probably guessed that they're walking through here. Their ward did fall, so they don't actually see it, but Nyx is just gonna get himself out. Juggernaut buys himself a blink. But this Rubik won't be too lucky, as he'll eat a Chronosphere. He tried to waveform out, but he'll get caught up by Yao and get taken out. Juggernaut will still stick around for a bit. It's not deciding to TP out quite yet. I believe he's just waiting in the trees, maybe hoping that LGD.FY leaves and he can just resume his push on this top lane, as this tower is very low. And Timbersaw will be building into an Aghanim's, so that should increase his damage output by quite a bit. Darkseer has managed to find a lot of farm for himself, as he has finished off Guardian Greaves as well as has 2,000 gold up in his inventory. Nyx is going for an Aghanim's himself, and Void tries to go on him. Void does finish off a BKB himself, as he's been dying a lot to Tinker. So I would say LGD.FY are in tip-top fighting shape right now, with BKB on Void as well as Morphling. And Nyx will get caught out, as Timbersaw does leap ahead with his Timber Chain and manage to Yules up the Nyx and catch him out. So with all outer towers down for the side of Newbee.Young, they're going to have to defend their high ground very soon, as it looks like LGD.FY is probably going to make their way up towards the mid lane. Chronosphere is still on cooldown, so they're still playing it slow. They're not going to commit to high ground push yet, but they're definitely pressuring it. But of course Tinker is just going to be able to march down the waves and stop their push relatively quickly. So Juggernaut drawing this box right here. I'm not sure what that is. He wants to get rid of their vision, I believe. He wants to secure this part of the map again or something. I'm not sure why he's drawing that. But of course they can't leave their base right now. They're pretty scared. He doesn't want to go up for this, as all the heroes on the dire side are missing, except for Morph. I think he's calling potentially for a smoke or something so they can reclaim this side of the map, de-ward. And that will do just that. Morphling will buy Boots Travel now, and he's going to push out the top wave. He has to be a bit careful, as he might get caught right now as the smoke is coming in. Disruptor will now be the one holding the gem and will pick up a Blink Dagger for himself. Very good item for him to get the glimpses off, as well as being in the right position to cast a Static Storm. Void will have a blink as well now, in addition to his BKB. So LGD.FY, I expect them to take a fight very soon. They still have Aegis, so there's no reason that they should be looking for something. I think they're just waiting for the right timing, waiting for Newbee.Young to get out of their base a bit, because they've been playing pretty deep in their base, and with this smoke right now, they're still not showing on the map. Darkseer will show now to push out the top wave. while Nyx is just sitting in base. He actually did not join for them for that smoke. I'm not sure why, he just wasn't there or something. But they did smoke out to place wards deep on the Dire side. But this ward won't help them too much, as it looks like Dire is probably going to play more in this area right now. Juggernaut just sitting in the trees in the top to potentially cut off the creep wave. Timbersaw buys a plate mail for himself, so he's going either for a Lotus Orb or a Shiva's Guard. Nyx will have eyes on Timber, but he has to be careful as the Disruptor has the gem, and if he gets caught out in vision with that, he's gonna fall. Instead, Disruptor will blink forward and find a glimpse on the Rubik, but he's quite tanky because he does have that Strength Morph, but that's not gonna help him against the E-Blade. And then with another Eagle Song picked up on the Morphling, that's gonna do a ton of damage to him. He just got deleted right there. Instead of waiting for the Aegis, they just found the right play right there. Got a bit more farm on the Morph, but he's building into that Butterfly, and now they will go for the high ground push. Static Storm will be committed, and it will hit 2 heroes as well as the Chronosphere. Disruptor will fall, and his gem will be lost. Right now, actually in the back here, but Darkseer is forced to buy back. And it looks like Timbersaw is just unkillable right now. He's able to clean up kills on the Radiant side extremely easily. Tinker will have to buy back as well. Holy shit, this Tinker has actually managed to pick off a bunch of kills after this buyback, and they're going to be able to hold here. Darkseer trying to cancel that TP with his vacuum, but he wasn't quite fast enough. And Morphling will be able to get away, as well as Face's Void securing a gem too. But I think there's another gem somewhere here, unless Morphling has it. Gem, where's the gem? There's 2 gems. Yeah, Rubik has it. And Tinker will finish off a Hex. So even though Newbee.Young had to buy back there, they were able to defend. That game looked like it was just over right here, but with buybacks from the side of Newbee.Young, they're able to secure kills on Timbersaw as well as Disruptor and Enchantress. And right now, Morphling is hexed up mid and he's unable to morph. He does manage to get BKB off. Bit mistiming on the hex, and he's able to barely survive. Now Face's Void will commit BKB as well to get this Nyx kill. But he does manage to get a stun up on Morph before dying. Fuck you. Tinker could have been in trouble there, but he managed to blink himself out and get out. The March is doing quite a bit of damage to LGD.FY's heroes. While Juggernaut as well as Darkseer was just pushing the top lane during that engagement. They did not really want to join that, or were in the position to join that. So they do lose both their supports, Rubik and Nyx, but they did force out 2 BKB charges from the side of LGD.FY, which is a decent trade. If they lost to Tinker there, that would have been pretty much game losing, but unfortunately they did not. And now LGD.FY will be working on the top racks. The range racks first, and now they'll be hitting the melee as they do have a creep wave mid to cancel the backdoor protection. Tinker is going to use his Hex to keep the Timbersaw away, and he's going to start marching up, but their racks is extremely low. Chronosphere will be off cooldown again, and they should be able to take a fight. And Vacuum Wall Morphling will fall actually. Very well played by Darkseer and Nyx, and they're going to get their combo off. LGD.FY just forgot. They forgot that they could do that, as they weren't able to hit it in that last top racks push, but now they will, and that's a full 5-man wipe from the side of Newbee.Young. Rubik being able to seal that Chakram with the double Chakram as well, just being able to dish out that damage. So this Aghanim is just paying off for him. LGD.FY just underestimated damage output from Newbee.Young, as they just thought they can finish off this Rax hero real quick and just get out. But instead, Darkseer will make a very good very good initiation. And with the Nyx follow-up, they're going to be able to just get a full 5-man wipe and then start working towards the mid tier 3. Disruptor as well as Void being forced to buy back. Morphling not actually having buyback. They're still in trouble as Morphling, or they definitely need Morphling to deal damage. The Void not even having Chrono up. And instead, actually, it looks like Newbee.Young could take the mid-racks here. Instead, they'll actually back off. And Darkseer getting glimpsed back looks like it's gonna seal his fate as he'll feed a gem away. Timbersaw finding a kill in the back as well on Rubik. Faces Void helping him out there. So they do lose their gem as well as their Rubik, but definitely a worthy trade as both Faces Void as well as Disruptor had to buy back. I think they could have got away there cleanly, but they definitely wanted to potentially take out this Rax. Unfortunately, they were not quite able to. And with those two pickoffs, they're going to be able to finish off Roche on the side of LGD.FY quite easily, and this will be a cheese. Nyx will manage to finish off his Aghanim Scepter finally. It's been set back quite a bit, having quite a bit of deaths this game, but he definitely had a big impact in those team fights. Comboing up with the Darkseer, just shutting out heroes, allowing his team to finish them off. And with this Aghanims, he's going to be able to do it all the better. Enchantress picking up a Pipe of Insight. Definitely a needed item against a hero like Tinker. And Morphling will be the ones who take the Aegis as he sells his treads. Timbersaw with 9 Bloodstone charges, so he has died a bit and suffering in terms of Bloodstone charges, and Faces Void will be the one to hold the cheese. And it looks like LGD.FY are looking to make a top racks push. But last time this didn't go too well for them. It did cost Newbee.Young a couple buybacks, but that second push after that didn't cost him any buybacks at all, as that was a full 5-man wipe. With 0 deaths on the side of Newbee.Young for that one. They'll make their push up to the top lane. It looks like Morph will commit his BKB for this, and if he's going to BKB, I don't think there's anything they can do to stop him, but instead, Faces Void will go for the Rubik in the back, and they will be able to finish off the racks. But they have to be careful as they need to get themselves out of here. With Hex on the Tinker, they're going to be able to catch out heroes, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to get anyone, and they'll just walk themselves out. Of course, they do have Aegis and Cheese, so Newbee.Young are just playing a bit cautiously. So those 2 deaths right here actually mattered a lot, as they weren't going to be able to contest that Aegis, and with Aegis and Cheese on the side of LGD.FY, it actually puts them in quite advantageous position, allowing them to just secure this top racks. Of course, the game is still not over, as this Tinker is very farm, picking up Boots of Travel 2, as well as probably working into an Aghanims right now. There will be a pause from the Nyx Assassin. I'm not sure what's going on. He's actually just been sitting in base. If you actually go back and watch the game from his player perspective, he's just literally been in base for like good 10 minutes now, just like walking around, burrowing and just unburrowing. Ever since him and the Darkseer just kind of got aggressive right here and then started dying, he's been playing a lot more reserved. He knows that there is a gem on the side of LGD.FY, and he really can't get away with that anymore, so he's just going to play a bit back, and did manage to find a farm for Aghanims in that time, so it's good for him. And he will disconnect and reconnect, and it looks like the game will get underway again. Juggernaut will pick up Eye of Scotty, so he's very tanky. He doesn't do much damage, but it allows decent amount of control, I guess. To slow down heroes a bit and just be a frontline tank for his team with the healing award. and kind of deal out that steady damage stream, while Tinker is the one really doing most of the damage for his team. He's just there as a buffer. So they said go, but they didn't actually go. Right now they will go. Super says go, and we'll get right back into the game. So Tinker does pick up the Aghanims for himself. When we look at buyback, let's see. If I go per minute. Buyback. He will have buyback, so they're gonna have that for the next fight if he dies, and we'll go back to net worth. So let's say LGD.FY are posturing to push the bot lane right now. They just want to secure another set of racks for themselves. With the Aegis still on the morph lane. It will be reclaimed in 2 minutes. So they still have plenty of time. Tinker will just TP the top lane to push it out real quick, while the rest of the team will be bot trying to defend. And the Nyx quite far in front with the burrow will get himself caught out with that static storm, and he will fall on a good 3-man chrono from Yao. Will just catch out all of the heroes on the side of Newbee.Y. And even though this Tinker is doing his best to defend, they will lose the Nyx as well as the Rubik, but this laser Aghanims pickup bouncing across all the heroes on the side of LGD.FY is actually helping to defend this. This Jug looks like he's in trouble right now. He did not have spin, but he will be forced to buy back, and Tinker is still dishing out a ton of damage. But they do only manage to take off the supports. And Morphling will actually buy himself a heart so that he can help tank up against this laser as well as March. It's an interesting pickup by him. Usually you see like Satanic or something, but he decides he just wants the heart. It gives him a bit more HP as well as just having that passive regen up. He doesn't have to attack anything. So they'll actually be able to thwart that push even with the Aegis and Cheese. They'll lose 2 heroes for it. Actually lose 3 with the Juggernaut dying and having to buy back, but he definitely has a lot of gold, even with that buyback. Holy crap. I believe that's just because of how far LGD.FY are ahead, and those kills gave him a good amount of gold. He's actually been farming up decent amounts. This guy's a pretty good player, Nordstrom. I don't know, I never really heard of him, but he's been fighting his farm considering the situation of the game. You see him like hiding in the trees a lot and cutting off waves. So find pretty much made the most of the situation. Kind of working around LGD.FY's heroes and getting the farm where they were not. Timbersaw will pick up a Hex for him now, and that will allow them more control on the Juggernaut as well as the Tinker if he ever gets caught out. So Timbersaw is in the front line, but they have to watch out for him now as he does have this strong disable. Faces forward. We'll go back into the Manta now. He'll not decide to upgrade his Diffusal Blade quite yet. But with that mana burn in his Chronosphere, it could be pretty bad for Newbee.Y if they get caught out. And Nyx will get caught out with a Static Storm and no feed a gem away. They just don't have the vision on the side of Newbee.Y, and without smoke or anything, they just kind of walked up and caught him out. Didn't really expect them or see them coming. And easy kill for them, and that should mean that they're gonna get top racks right here. Or bot racks, I mean. This is pretty hard to defend without their Nyx. He's a lot of what keeps LGD.FY from just grouping up and pushing their tower. Instead, a full team fight will happen. Juggernaut will Omni Slash, hit on both supports, 2 gems on deck. Chronosphere will happen in the back, and instead of that mana burn with that Manta is pretty devastating. They'll manage to take up the Tinker with that, and he'll be forced to buy back as well as the Darkseer falling. Tinker will buy back and shoot a laser through, but it looks like his racks will be gone. Actually, no. The laser will be enough to keep LGD.FY away, and they're going to feed 2 kills away. And let's see if Faceless Void gets away, and he does manage to blink dodge that rocket and get himself away. So there's going to be 2 gems on deck for Rubik. Alright, 1 gem for each eye. And Newbee.Young will be able to defend. They did use a Tinker buyback, but he's pretty much max slotted, so he doesn't. That's not gonna hurt him too much in terms of farm. There's really nothing else he really wants to buy. So everything at this point is just like a bonus item. Of course, he probably wants to get rid of this Aether Lens for some higher item. I'm not sure what exactly. You can go for Shivas. There's a bunch of items that Tinker can go. Manta or something like that as well, but it's still a very powerful item. Go Hex up on the Faceless Void and manage to take him out. Disruptor will pop his ultimate, and that should get them that Nyx kill, but Morphling will be buying back for that to try to take this fight. And they have to be careful as Tinker and Juggernaut do not have buyback right now. Juggernaut bought a BKB and used it in that engagement, and Tinker gets caught out by the Hex, and this is very bad for them. If he falls right here, they're gonna have to wait for him to respawn. He does have quite a bit of a shorter respawn with the Bloodstone, but that's 60 seconds without a Tinker. So expect LGD.FY to go directly up to the high ground, as there's no way this Tinker is coming back into the fight. Rubik kind of just snuck up to this top lane right here and got himself out. I believe they saved a gem, so they still have the gem. No, he actually took the gem from their base and got away with it. I don't think they got the gem. Yeah, they did not get the gem. And nice vacuum wall into 4 heroes. It's gonna manage to pick off the Enchantress as well as the Disruptor. Rubik did fall in the back, and Morph and Timber are the only ones up for their team. Omni Sash will go through, but he does not do that much damage, as this Juggernaut build is pretty much based around being a frontline tank. This not very damage based, as he has a lot of tanky items. BKB as well as the Scotty and Sanji Yasha. And the Nyx will try to defend, but instead the BKB will just pop, or the Morphling will just pop BKB and kill him. Juggernaut will make his chase, but he'll get hexed up by the Timbersaw, and with no way to cancel these TPs, both Timbersaw as well as Morph will get away. So keep in mind, Morph did have to use a buyback for that, and they managed to take the bot racks. So at the end of the day, worth it for them. Now the gem actually was here. The Rubik did not steal it, I don't think, unless there was another gem dropped. So there's 3 gems. So I actually think there was another gem dropped. Because Nyx had a gem. And let's see. I can't see what these are owned by. So Roshan will respawn, so that's the next objective for either side. Disruptor will manage to pick up his Aghanims. He managed to sell his Midas at some point. Just a slot thing. Does not really have space for it anymore. Timbersaw will go for a Lotus Orb now. He uses Lotus Orb as well as Shiva's guards. He'll decide to switch his Yules for a Lotus. It allows him to remove the Hex from his teammate, so I would say it's more valuable right now, as Darkseer will pick up a Hex himself. So it'll be a free Roshan pretty much for LGD.FY, as I believe Nyx Assassin was still respawning on Newbee.Young, and of course with their Tinker buyback still on cooldown, they really want to play it safe, as if he dies again, that's going to mean the game for them. It looks like Newbee.Young are going to go for an aggressive play right now, as they're kind of posturing to make something happen, but no, they'll decide better and just head back to base. Nyx Assassin has to be careful, as I believe they do have a gem on somebody. I believe it's on Disruptor. If he walks through and gets caught, it's pretty problematic for them, as they definitely need him for the defense. Darkseer Vacuum Wall combo will go off on the Morph as well as Timbersaw, but they won't be able to combo it up. BKB was not used. And LGD.FY should be able to just reset. They're just going to have to wait for the wall to, and don't really want to fight with that sitting right in the middle of the team fight. Tinker will continue to spam up with lasers as well as rockets. And march to clear out the creep wave. Right now, Newbee.Young is just looking to make a defense. A Hex will be used on Juggernaut, but he'll be surged up and he'll just run straight out. Static Storm will be committed as well for him. And Enchantress just gets caught out in this side of the map. I'm not sure what she was doing so deep in their base, but the Chronosphere will be used and they'll manage to take out Juggernaut, but Juggernaut will have buyback again. Timbersaw will get caught up by the stolen Chrono from the Rubik, and Rubik will fall, but they do manage to take out the Timbersaw. And after the Jug buying back, he's able to Omni Slash up the Void, but Void will barely get out. But with that stun on Rubik, will he get away? Yep, he will be able to get away, but the Morphling won't be too lucky as he gets caught in the back. And nope, he'll be able to waveform, and Timbersaw will buy back up into the fight as well as Enchantress, but Morphling is going down quite quickly. Juggernaut will get hexed up, but he's going to be able to spin, and will he be able to survive against the Faceless Void? He'll have to man up, and he'll man up on him and manage to take him out. Tinker doing damage in the back as well as this Nyx doing work, just stunning everybody. And this might be a dieback for the Timbersaw.
Radiant's mid tower is getting
And that is a dieback for the Timbersaw. A bit of a misplay by Nyx, not Spike Caresping that chain, allowing him to get that kill easier, but they do manage to find him still with the Timbersaw, or with the Tinker TPing in. Enchantress will get caught as well, and Xiao Wei should be dead here. This Nyx just needs to keep sight on her. She does cast an Urn Charge on him so that he can't blink, and he'll be able to get himself up to the high ground with the Force Staff, or the Dragon Lance to be correct. Tinker is going to TP back to base and TP back onto the Nyx to pursue, and with no teammates helping him out, so he should fall. Tinker actually running out of mana, and the Pipe of Insights being enough to keep him alive. And he created quite a bit of space for his team as they kind of just chased him all the way up through here. And during that time they could have just been hitting the racks, but of course they still have to wait for the creep wave, so it's not too bad. Tinker is not really a racks hitting hero, or kind of they don't really need him to kill their creep wave either, as Juggernaut has the Battle Fury. So now they'll start hitting on the Dire mid racks, and with Morphling no buyback, I believe. They're probably going to be able to take top racks as well. 20 seconds on the Morphling still. They have to be careful here, as both Xiao Wei and Timbersaw did buy back, so if they die again, they won't have buyback. Chronosphere is committed on the Darkseer, and he will get Static Stormed as well. And they'll manage to take him out. I believe he did buy back as well, so he will not have it. No, yeah, he did. And Nyx Assassin will go on the Disruptor in the back, while Tinker is just dishing out damage on the front line. They'll manage to take out Disruptor, but with Morph alive, he's going to be in trouble here. They actually do not have a gem, so he's going to just be able to survive with the Burrow. While Timbersaw getting caught out in the front line by Juggernaut as well as Tinker. And a 4-second stun on the Juggernaut is going to mean he's going to die to the Faceless Void. Being able to deal a ton of damage to him with that Manta Style as well as Diffusal, but no, he'll be able to spin and get himself out. Rubik won't be too lucky, and he'll get stunned up and fall. Oh my god, his stun was still on cooldown on the Morph, and the Tinker was able to get away because Morph was still morphed to full strength. And he wasn't able to do that much damage initially. And he had to wait for a bit so they can morph back to Agi, but by that time the Tinker got out. He did throw E-Blade at the very end right there to try to finish him off, but Tinker is still too tanky for that, and he managed to just barely get out. It would have been not too bad for them actually if the Tinker fell, because they do have buyback on him as well as 7,000 gold. And he is fully slotted, so that gold is not going to go into too much. Still might want to replace this Aether Lens, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty core for him. But of course the Aether Lens still being valuable, increasing his damage significantly as well as his range on his spells. So this has been quite an intense game, as even though in the early game it looked pretty one-sided, LGD.FY secured a huge lead for themselves. A couple of botched high ground pushes pretty much meant that Newbee.Young were able to come back in this game and really have a chance. Tinker will get caught out in the back. It wasn't a glimpse. I believe he just got blinked on and static stormed, as well as getting caught in that kinetic field, and he will fall, but of course he will still have buyback. And he's responding relatively soon with his Bloodstone charges, so let's see if they're going to be able to defend without his buyback. I don't believe they can, as there's a lot of damage from the Morphling as well as Face's Void now. Darkseer will go for a vacuum wall into the Nyx stun, and we've seen this time and time again in this game as Tinker will buy back and he's going to start dishing out that damage. Nyx will get hexed up right before he's able to burrow, and that's going to actually save their lives as he wasn't able to get a follow-up stun. Face's Void will get caught out as the Hex will end on the Nyx, and now they're going to be chasing for kills. Timbersaw walks up, and this might be a mistake from him. They do manage to blow up the Nyx, but Omni Slash will go through and finish off the Timbersaw. Juggernaut will immediately switch targets to the Disruptor, but he'll get Glimpse back, but Spin will cancel that, and Disruptor should fall. Meanwhile, Morphling is still fighting in the fight. He does fight up with Tinker, and Tinker will have to TP himself away as he is low on mana, so now Darkseer is left on his lonesome, and he'll fall to Enchantress as well as Morphling. But Tinker will be able to TP back to the Rubik, who took quite a bit of damage from Morph, and they should get a 5-man wipe right here, unless Jiaohui's able to find a godlike escape again. Alright, Rubik is in trouble as he gets Dragonlance up on the Enchantress, and she's able to kill him. And that will actually save his life, as that will also cancel Tinker's TP. So Jiaohui being the lone survivor in 2 bloody engagements, and will also be able to save the gem, dropping his urn for that. While that was happening, they did take quite a bit of structural damage in the Radiant base, but overall that was a pretty good trade for them, as they're able to defend once again.
Dire's mid tower's having the dire difficulties over that mid tower.
And Xiaohui is just doing damage to range Rex right now. He's very farmed with his Midas. He's gonna be level 23. But hello? Alright, it's a kind of questionable play from Xiaohui right there. But he actually won't have buyback for 20 seconds. But he'll have it by the time they get to his base. But he just wanted to do damage to their base. He knew everyone was alive. But just kind of went for the YOLO play. Just walked up high ground and just started doing unhealable damage, as Grant would call it, to their range racks. And I'm not sure if that's actually worth it. It might be, but they need to push mid racks, and that's going to be a couple less auto attacks for Mega Creeps. It looks like Tinker will actually get caught up by a Chrono, and that's no buyback on him. Xiaohui will immediately buy back so that they can just finish off the Mega Creeps, and calculated Xiaohui. Now that's a couple less extra hits for him to take out this Mega Creeps, while the Tinker is dead for another 40 seconds with no buyback. I'm not sure what actually happened there, but I believe they just caught vision of him somehow in the trees, and he gets Chronosphered up, and of course if your Tinker gets Chrono, he's gonna fall. They'll try to make a defense without him. They'll vacuum wall into an Omni Slash, but they do BKB up, so Nyx is unable to follow up. Darkseer will get incredibly low, but he's going to be able to survive, I think. Yep, he will, and they might just make enough time for Tinker to come back and defend. But their racks are actually falling incredibly quickly, and no, they will not. The racks will fall. Mega Creeps will be secured on the side of LGD.FY, but they're going to feed a lot of kills away for this. And this is Enchantress with no buyback. Timbersaw will fall as well, even though this Lotus Orb is going to be a bit annoying for them. They're going to hex themselves up. And I believe Newbee.Young right now is to go for an all-in play. They're going to have to just try to throne. They did manage to somehow take a tier 4 tower. I believe it died to creeps or something. Juggernaut did pick up an Abyssal. He had it in the last fight there. Use it on Enchantress to get that kill. So even though LGD.FY does have Mega Creeps, let's see their buybacks. Morphling will have buyback. Face's Void will have buyback, as well as Timber. So they'll have buyback to defend this, but Newbee.Young is going for the throne right now. It looks like it. So all 3 buybacks out. Jowett, of course, will not have buyback, but Rubik will also be dead. Chronosphere looks like it's going to be coming out, but no, he will get stunned up, and that's very bad as Yao will fall here, potentially. The Juggernaut will fall. Nope, Yao does manage to get his BKB off. He is still not holding on to Chrono. Timbersaw will get stunned up by Nyx as well as Mana Burn. Juggernaut will be forced to buy back and he's going to TP back in. Chronosphere is still up for the side of LGD.FY, so Newbee.Young have to be careful. Juggernaut will not have buyback anymore. But that was almost very bad for LGD.FY as Yao just gets caught out by that Nyx stun. And he almost falls before being able to pop BKB.
The Dyer's ancient ain't gonna last.
So they'll make a play onto Nyx and 3-man vacuum wall, and a bit of lag here as Omni Sash will go through. Chrono will finally be used. Darkseer looks like he's going to fall. No, he does live, and holy crap, Newbee.Young have managed to win this game. That's all the heroes dead on the side of LGD.FY. Newbee.Young will secure this victory as they're just going to finish off the throne. There's no creeps on the side of LGD.FY, or there's no creeps on the side of LGD.FY yet, so Xiaowei can't go for some crazy backdoor play. And with all heroes alive on side of LGD.FY, they should just be able to defend that, even if he goes for that. And that's just an easy victory for them, as they do call GG. Holy shit, I did not expect that. If you watched the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes of this game, you did not expect Newbee.Young to even come close to winning this game. But they were able to turn it out in some amazing team fights with Darkseer Vacuum Wall into Nyx stun and Tinker just being able to dish out that damage, and they're actually going to claim this victory for themselves. I'm actually impressed. That was nice plays. This let's see, who's this player? Nortram on the Jug, even though going like a pretty defensive build with the first item Sanchin Yasha, he's gonna get a lot done this game, as he's just played as like a frontline hero so that his team could dish out the damage while LGD.FY had to focus on him. Darkseer player as well, too late, hitting those vacuum wall combos when his team needed them most. And none of these players being really notable in the scene. I think they're just up-and-coming Chinese players, but that was very well played, playing against LGD.FY, hero or team that's going to be playing at the Boston Major. Pretty nice disruptor mount here. But going through that game, we look at the graphs. It is pretty much in the favor of LGD.FY for the entire game until the end, but Newbee.Young still managed to secure that victory with that all-in play. Pretty much after the mega creeps were secured, they were able to just find the pickoffs at the enemy side of the base and finish off the game. The Tinker really doing work with 100,000 hero damage. Holy crap. They just weren't able to find him. They did manage to chrono him, and that was the reason they were going to get mega creeps, but in that last fight right there, they just weren't able to pick him off. He was able to constantly hex out heroes, dish out damage with laser as well as rockets and march, and just slowly dwindle down their health and finish off the heroes on the side of LGD.FY and secure that victory. Very well played by Newbee.Young. I'm definitely impressed. That was quite a comeback for them, as that game looked over. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. That was quite a game. That was not the best cast from me. I definitely it was pretty early in the morning and lacking sleep and nutrients or something like that. Kind of lost what I was saying, and it was in such an intense game it is hard to cast, but I hope you guys still enjoyed. Hope you guys also subscribe or watch my other videos. I'm still coming up with new videos each day. This was my first live cast on this channel, so if you like this, you'll probably see more. See you guys next time, and I'm out.